Let's read the story in detail. Joe, grumbling. Christmas won't be Christmas without any presents. Meg, it's so terrible to be poor. Amy, I don't think it's fair for some girls to have plenty of pretty things and other girls nothing at all. Beth, we have got father and mother and each other. These are the four girls. How are they complaining during the Christmas? So Joe is saying that without presents, Christmas won't be Christmas. Meg is complaining that we are so poor. What does Amy say? Amy is saying that some girls have plenty of pretty things. Some girls have many things, but we don't have anything at all. But Beth, what does Beth say? We have got father, mother, and each other. We have got each other. We have got father and mother. That's a great thing, Beth says. So when all the girls were complaining about being poor, Beth said that they have their father, mother, and themselves. They have them each other for them. So when they heard that, the four young faces brightened at the cheerful words, but darkened again, thinking of their father. Far away. The father was far away, where the war was being fought. What is the meaning of darkened? Darkened means what? Felt unhappy. So they felt happy when they said they have father, mother and all of them. But their face again went dark. In the sense, they felt bad. They felt bad because they were thinking about the father who was far away, who was in the war. Okay. Joe, sadly. So now Joe said sadly, we haven't got father and shall not have him for a long time. So what did she mean? She said that father won't be there with them for a long time. For a long time, father won't be coming back. Nobody spoke for some time. When they heard that, nobody spoke. All of them kept quiet. Meg, you know the reason mother said we shouldn't have any presents this Christmas was because it's going to be a hard winter for everyone. Do you know why mother said that we should not have presents? So Meg is saying, do you know why mother said should not have presents this Christmas? Because it's going to be a hard winter. And she thinks we shouldn't spend money for pleasure when our men are suffering in army. And because they should not be very happy. They should not keep on enjoying when there are people gone for the people in the army. They have gone to the war. We can't do much, but we can make our little sacrifice and should do it gladly. Though we can't do much with our money, but we can sacrifice little of our money. We can give away little of our money to make them happy, and they should do that gladly. They should do that happily. Okay. So, what did Meg say? That they should not, mother said that they should not spend their money on Christmas because there are people who have gone to army, who are suffering in the army, and they must contribute their money for those people gladly, happily. Joe, but I don't think the little we should spend would do any good. What did Joe say? That we should, whatever little they have, what little money they have will be of any good. We have each got $1 and the army wouldn't be much helped by our giving that. What did they say? They said they have just $1. That's like we have in Indian money. Indian money is rupee, isn't it? Like that over there, it is dollar. So we just got $1 and that's not going to help the army a lot. I agree not to expect anything from you or mother. So what does Joe say? Joe is saying she's not expecting anything from Meg or mother, but I do want to buy some books for myself. What does Joe want to buy? Joe want to buy some books for herself. Beth, what does Beth say? I plan to spend mine on new music. Beth likes music. So she said she wants to spend her money on new music. Now Amy, what did Amy say? I shall get a nice box of Faber's drawing pencils. What does she want? Faber's drawing pencils. Amy wants Faber's drawing pencils. I really need them. She really needs these drawing pencils. What did Joe say? Joe, what is Joe saying? Mother didn't say anything about our money. And she won't wish us to give up everything. She's saying mother did not mean to give away our money. She did not tell us to give away our money. Let us each buy what we want and have a little fun. I'm sure we worked hard enough to earn it. So what does Joe say? Joe said mother won't mind it. So let us spend our money we have hard earned, we have worked hard to earn this money. So let us spend this money on buying some things that we like. So the girls are telling how hard they are working to earn money. So Meg is complaining. I know, I do. She's saying she knows how hard she's working. Teaching those tiresome children nearly all day when I am longing to enjoy myself at home. She's saying she's working so hard to teach those tiresome. What's the meaning of tiresome? Boring or annoying. She's teaching some annoying children the whole day when she really likes to enjoy herself at home. She wants to stay at home, but she's teaching these children. So what does Joe say? You don't have half such a hard time as I do. Joe is saying your work is not as hard as mine. My work is harder than yours. Because why? How would you like to be shut inside a room for hours with a nervous, fussy old lady who keeps you trotting? What is it? She is working where she's looking after an old woman. This old woman is nervous and she's fussy. What's the meaning of fussy? Someone who is difficult to please. This old woman, it's very difficult to please that woman. And what does she do? She keeps you trotting. What's the meaning of trotting? Trotting means moving fast. She keeps telling you, come here, go there, take that, take this. She keeps on making her do work. So Joe is saying her work is harder than Meg's work. Then what does Beth say? Beth with a sigh. Oh, she's saying, it's not nice to complain so much, but I do think washing dishes and keeping things tidy is the worst work in the world. So what does Beth do? She washes plates and keeps the place tidy. So she's saying that is the worst work in the world. It makes me cross. Cross means angry. It makes her angry. And my hands get so stiff. By washing plates, her hands are always in water, so her hands get stiff. I can't practice well at all. So she likes music, isn't it? She likes to play on the piano or something like that. So she's not able to play on that because her hands are stiff. Now what does Amy say? Amy, I don't believe any of you suffer as much as I do. So Amy is saying, I suffer the most, that she is suffering the most. Why? For you don't have to go to school, because they don't have to go to school with impertinent girls. What's the meaning of impertinent? Impertinent means rude or disrespectful. In Amy's school, the girls are very rude. They don't respect her. What do? Who tease you if you don't know your lessons. What do these girls do? They tease her. If she doesn't know her lessons, they'll tease her. And laugh at your dress. And if her dress, they don't have uniforms those days. So if she wears her dress is not good, they laugh at her dress and say that your father isn't rich. And if her dress is not very nice, if it is not expensive dress, they'll tell that her father isn't very rich. And insult you when your nose isn't nice. And they make fun of her face. Your face is not nice, your nose is not nice. They making fun of her. Okay. So this is what these girls are talking about, how hard each other's work is. So the girls continued talking. The clock struck 6. Beth put a pair of slippers down to warm next to the fireplace. What did Beth do? She took a pair of slippers to put it near the fireplace. This is a fireplace where there it is very cold. So they have a place like this. They lit fire over here so that it is warm. So she put a pair of slippers there. Somehow the sight of the old shoes had a good effect upon the girls. So when they saw this, Beth had put these shoes near the fireplace, all the girls felt very happy. For mother was coming and everyone brightened to welcome her. So these old slippers were their mother's slipper. So when they saw the mother's slipper, they all felt happy because now mother is coming home. Meg lit the lamp. What did Meg do? She lit the lamp. Amy got out of the easy chair without being asked. Amy, she was sitting in an easy chair. See, she got out of the chair without anybody telling her to get out of it for her mother to sit. Okay, so she got out of the chair and Joe forgot how tired she was as she sat up to hold the slippers nearer to the fire. And Joe was actually very tired, but she forgot how tired she was. And then she continued making her the slippers warm for her mother. Joe, they're quite worn out. Marmee must have a new pair. Worn out. What's the meaning of worn out? Worn out means old or in poor condition. So they said mother's shoes are in very poor condition. They're all worn out. It is torn out. It is in a poor condition. It has become very old. What is Marmee? Marmee here, mother. The March sisters called their mother Marmee. So they said Marmee's mother's shoes have worn out. Her slippers are worn out. They are in a bad condition and she must have a new pair. Beth. I thought I did get her some with my dollar. So what did Beth say? She'll get her a new slipper with her dollar. Amy. No, I shall. Then what did Amy say? No, she will buy the slipper. Meg. I am the oldest. Meg said she is the oldest, so she will buy the slipper. Joe, speaking quickly. What did Joe say? I am the man of the family. Now Papa is away and I shall provide the slippers. What did Joe say? She said she is the man of the family. She is a girl, but she acts like the boy of the house. So she said, when Papa is away, I am the man of the family, so I'll get the slippers. For he told me to take special care of mother while he was gone. So father had told her to take special care of mother when father had gone to the war. So she is going to buy the slipper. So now all four of them want to buy slipper for their mother. Beth. I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll tell you what we'll do. She said, let us each get her something for Christmas and not get anything for ourselves. What did they decide suddenly? Before they wanted gifts for themselves, isn't it? So what did Beth say? Now we'll buy some gift for mother and we won't buy things for ourselves. Joe, excitedly, Joe was very happy. What will we get? They were wondering what they'll get for her. Everyone thought for a minute, so they all were thinking. Meg, I shall give her a nice pair of gloves. Over there it's cold place, so you need to wear gloves on your hands. In your palm you must wear gloves. So she said, in her hands, all your fingers, everything will be covered. So you need gloves. So she said, I'll buy a nice pair of gloves for mother. What did Joe say? Amy, shoes, best to be had. So she said, army shoes. Army shoes are the best to be had. So she's going to buy army shoes for her. What did Beth say? Some handkerchiefs. Beth said she'll buy some handkerchiefs. Amy, I'll get a little bottle of perfume. What did Amy say? Amy said she'll buy a bottle of perfume. She likes it and it won't cost much. So I'll have some left to buy my pencils. So Amy can have some money. She needs to buy pencils, isn't it? Amy needs color pencils. So she said she'll buy some perfume for mother and the leftover money she's going to buy some pencils. Meg, how will we give these things? She said, how will we give the things? How are they going to give the things to the mother? Joe, put them on the table and bring her in and see her open the bundles. What they said? They'll put all these gifts on the table and then they'll bring the mother inside the room and she'll bring her to the table and they'll see how she opens all these bundles. Don't you remember how we used to do on our birthdays? On the birthdays also they do the same thing. So they said in this Christmas also we'll do this. Beth, yes, let Marmee think we are getting things for ourselves and then surprise her. We must go shopping tomorrow afternoon. So mother will think that they are buying gifts for themselves. But then they are going to buy gifts for their mother and surprise her. So what they're saying, we must go shopping tomorrow afternoon. So tomorrow afternoon, the next day afternoon itself, they must go shopping. So the girls had decided to go shopping the next day afternoon. At this moment, the door opens and mother walks in. Mrs. March is not elegantly dressed but is a noble-looking woman. To the children, she is the most splendid woman in the world. So at that moment, the door opens and Mrs. March walks in. She is not elegantly dressed. What's the meaning of elegantly dressed? Elegantly means stylishly. She's not stylishly dressed. She's not very stylish. But a noble-looking woman. What's the meaning of noble-looking? Noble-looking means respected and admired. She's not very stylish, but she is respected and admired. She looks very respectful. To her children, she is the most splendid. What's the meaning of splendid? Splendid, very good. For her children, she is the most very good person for her in the world. She's the best person in the world for her children. So now Mrs. March is talking. Mrs. March, glad to find you so merry, my girls. Merry means happy. She's saying, I'm so happy to see you all happy. Has anyone called Beth? Has anyone called Beth? She's asking Beth. Beth, did anyone call? Did anyone come? She's asking. How is your cold? She's asking her. How is your cold, Meg? She's asking Meg, how is your cold? When our parents come home, they'll ask us, isn't it? Like that, she's asking each one. Joe, you look tired. She's telling to Joe, Joe, you look tired. Come and hug your mother, baby. She's telling her, the youngest one, come and hug your mother. Okay, she's talking to all the children. Mrs. March gets her wet things off, her warm slippers on, and sitting down in the easy chair, drew Amy to her lap. Okay, so what she does, it's outside, it is cold, isn't it? It's winter time over there, and all during winter it will be snow. So all her wet things and all, everything, her dress, her coat and all has become wet. So all that she removes, and then she wears that warm slipper. The children had made the Beth had put it near the fireplace to warm the slipper, isn't it? So she warms the slipper and sitting down in the easy chair. So Amy had got her from the easy chair before itself, isn't it? So she sits in that easy chair and drew Amy to her lap. She tells over here, no, come and hug me, your baby. She tells Amy to come. So she makes Amy sit on her lap. The girls flew about trying to make things comfortable for her. So what do the girls do? The girls went there and hear everything so that mother can come and sit comfortably. Now Mrs. March, I have got a treat for you after supper. So she tells them she has a treat for them. She's got something special for them after supper. Beth, a letter, a letter. 3 cheers for father. So they understand it's a letter. So they'll say there's a letter, it's 3 cheers to father. So father has sent them a letter. Mrs. March, patting her pocket. She pats her pocket. She's in her pocket. Yes, a nice long letter. She says, yes, it's a nice long letter from your father. He is well and thinks he shall get through the cold season better than we feared. So she said, yes, the cold season is there now. But he's well and he'll get through the cold season. He'll get through the cold season. Though we are afraid that whether he'll get sick or something, but he's going to get through it. We don't have to be afraid of it. He sends all sorts of loving wishes for Christmas. So he's sending you all love for Christmas. He's sending them good wishes for Christmas. And a special message to you girls. And he's sending special message to all the girls. Beth, I think it was so splendid of father to go as a chaplain when he was too old to be sent as a soldier. So what Beth is saying, yeah, it is so nice that father was sent as a chaplain. I told you what a chaplain is, isn't it? Chaplain, see over here, someone who does religious work in hospitals, schools or in army. So they do religious work. I told you like a clergy. So they do all this religious work in hospitals, schools or army. They counsel them. They tell them all this. Actually now he is too old to go as a soldier. He can't go as a soldier now. So at least they're happy that he went as a chaplain. Joe with a groan. Don't I wish I could go as a drummer or a nurse so I could be near him and help him. So Joe is saying that she always does boys' work, isn't it? She likes to be like a boy in the house. So she's saying, I would like to go as a drummer. So when he's going about doing all this work, isn't it? As a religious work in the hospitals and schools. So when he's going and doing all this work, she can also go as a drummer or as a nurse so that she could be near her father all the time to help him. Amy, what is Amy saying? It must be very unpleasant to sleep in a tent and eat all sorts of bad tasting things and drink out of a tin mug. So Amy is saying, what's the meaning of unpleasant? Something that makes you feel uncomfortable or unhappy. So she's saying he must be feeling so unhappy to sleep in a tent. They have to sleep in tents because they're in war, isn't it? And eat all sorts of bad tasting things. They won't get very tasty food over there because they're in war. They won't have a lot of things for them to eat. And they have to drink from a tin mug. They can't drink from very good cup and saucer or anything. They have to drink from tin mug. So Amy is thinking of a father's bad condition. Mother said she has a letter from father. Beth, when will he come home, Marmee? So Beth is asking when father will come home. Mrs. March, what does she say? Not for many months, dear, unless he is sick. So mother is saying he's not going to come back home unless he is sick. If he is not well, he'll come back home fast. Otherwise, he's not going to come. He'll stay and do his work faithfully as long as he can. So he's going to stay there and do his work faithfully. He's a very sincere man. So he's going to do his work. And we won't ask for him back a minute sooner that he can be spared. Spared means made free. Unless he is free, we won't tell him to come back fast. Okay. So now come and hear the letter. So she's calling everybody to come and hear the letter. They all drew to the fire. That means they came closer to the fireplace. Mrs. March in the big chair with Beth at her feet. Beth was sitting at her feet. She was sitting down. Meg and Amy perched on either arms of the chair. On both the side of the chair, this Meg and Amy were perched. Perched means they were just leaning. They were sitting sort of on the side of the chair. And Joe leaning on the back. Joe was leaning on the back where no one would see any sign of emotion if the letter should happen to be touching. What is the meaning? Joe was she stood at the back because if the letter is touching, what is the meaning of touching? Making you feel emotional. If the letter is such a way that makes you cry, so that nobody will see her. So she stood at the back. It was a cheerful letter, but the letter was cheerful, full of description of camp life. It had a full description of the camp life. Marches and military news. It was full of military news and how the marches and everything was going on. Towards the end, it overflowed with fatherly love for the little girls at home. And towards the end of the letter, it overflowed with fatherly love. How much the father loved his daughters, he showed it through the letter. He wrote to them how much he loved them. This is the picture. They're sitting near the fireplace. Beth is sitting down. And then there's Meg and Amy. They're perched on both the sides. And there's Joe. She is leaning at the back of the chair. Okay. Now we'll go to the next page. Mrs. March reading the letter. Mrs. March is reading the letter. Give them all my dear love and kisses and a kiss. So what does the father say? To give all the children love and a kiss. Tell them I think of them every day and pray for them at night. So father is saying he prays for them at night. He thinks of them and he prays for them at night. A year seems very long to wait before I see them. So a year is it will nearly be 1 year when he's going to see them next. So he's saying that looks like it's going to be a long time. But remind them that while we wait, we may all work so that these hard days need not be wasted. So he's saying, even though when you're waiting for this much time, you must work and this day should not be wasted. I know they'll remember all I said to them. And he's confirming, he's saying, yes, I know that they'll remember what I said. That they will be loving children to you. That they'll be loving children to the mother. Will do their duty faithfully. Fight their bosom enemies bravely. So what is the meaning of bosom? Bosom here means close. So they're going to fight their close enemies bravely. Okay. And conquer themselves so beautifully that when I come back to them, I may be fonder and prouder than ever of my little women. So what he's saying? So they'll fight their enemy, their close enemies so bravely and conquer. Conquer means കീഴടക്കും themselves so beautifully. എന്നിട്ട് ആ enemies കീഴടക്കും. And when I come back to them, ഞാൻ തിരിച്ചു വരുമ്പം I may be fonder, അവരെ കൂടുതൽ ഇഷ്ടപ്പെടും. Fonder means കൂടുതൽ ഇഷ്ടപ്പെടുക. And prouder, അവരുടെ അഭിമാനം തോന്നും. I'll be prouder than ever of my little women. അവരെ പറ്റി എനിക്ക് കൂടുതൽ അഭിമാനം തോന്നുമെന്ന്. ഇതൊക്കെ കേട്ടപ്പോഴത്തേനും what did Amy crying. Amy ഇത് കേട്ടപ്പോൾ കരച്ചിൽ വന്നു. I am a selfish girl, but I'll truly try to be better, so he may not be disappointed in me. So Amy says she's selfish, but she's going to become better so that her father is not disappointed when he comes back. What does Meg say? Meg, we all will. ഞങ്ങളെല്ലാവരും നല്ല കുട്ടികളാവുന്നു. I think too much of my looks and hate to work, but won't anymore if I can help it. So Meg is actually she is taking care of herself a lot. She likes to look beautiful. Megna Tanatana Sundari Avana Ishtam. So she's saying, I take too much care of looking, and she does not like to work, and Meg does not like to work, but won't anymore. Work. I won't take too much care of myself. What does Joe say? Joe, I'll try and not to be rough and wild. Joe is a tomboyish type, isn't it? Joe ബോയ്സിനെ പോലെ ചെയ്യുന്ന റഫായിട്ടായിരിക്കുന്നത് പറയും ഞാൻ റഫും വൈൽഡും ആവുകയില്ല. ബട്ട് ഡു മൈ ഡ്യൂട്ടീസ് ഹിയർ ഇൻസ്റ്റെഡ് ഓഫ് വാണ്ടിങ് ടു ബി സംവെയർ എൽസ്. എനിക്ക് വേറെ വല്ലയിടത്ത് പോകാനാണ് ഇഷ്ടം. പക്ഷേ അതിനേക്കാളും നല്ലത് ഞാൻ ഇവിടെ തന്നെ ഇരുന്നിട്ട് എൻ്റെ ജോലി ഞാൻ നന്നായിട്ട് ചെയ്യും. Beth said nothing. Beth ഒന്നും പറഞ്ഞില്ല. But wiped away her tears with the blue army socks and began to knit with all her might. So Beth, what did she? Her tears were coming from her eyes. So she wiped it with the blue army socks and began to knit all her might. With all her might, she started knitting fast, losing no time in doing the duty that lay nearest her. So she did not waste time to do her work, while she determined to be all that father hoped to find her when the year brought round the happy homecoming. So she determined. What's the meaning of determined? Made up your mind to do something. So she made up her mind to do things in such a way that the father will be happy when the year was around, when it was over a year, and happy homecoming, when the father comes back home happily. So you heard the full story, isn't it? First the girls were complaining about not having money. Then they decided to buy gift for themselves. Then afterwards, when they saw the mother's old shoes, they decided to buy gifts for their mother. Then they were complaining about their work. Each of them said that they were doing a lot of work and their work was harder. Then mother came and she came with the letter. And when the father said so many things in the letter, the girls repented about what they were thinking and they decided to become better so that when the father comes, he'll be proud of them. Okay. Then what happened? That night they sang, and as usual before they went to bed. Every day they sing song before they go to bed. So as usual they sang. Meg had a voice like a flute. So Meg's voice was like flute. And she and Mrs. March led the little choir. Choir means group of people singing. So Meg and Mrs. March led the little choir. They were the leaders of that song. Amy chirped like a cricket. Chirp means small birds ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്ന ശബ്ദത്തിനാണ് chirp ചെയ്യുന്നത്. Cricket is a small insect. Cricket ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്ന ശബ്ദം പോലെ Amy made that voice. And that means her voice is small, a light voice, and a small girl she is. And Joe sang at her own sweet will. So Joe sang in her own will. According to how she could sing, she sang. This was a common custom at their house. അവരുടെ വീട്ടിൽ it was a common custom. It was a common custom for them to sing. Mrs. March was a wonderful singer, and the girls never grew too old for their familiar lullaby. What's the meaning? Mrs. March used to sing very well. Lullaby means what? A song that is sung to little children to help them fall asleep. So these girls never grew old for their familiar lullaby. That means however old they are still small enough to hear Mrs. March sing a lullaby for them. So താരാട്ട് പാട്ട് പാടുന്നത് അവർക്ക് ഇഷ്ടമായിരുന്നു. So they were all happy. So they were listening to the song of Mrs. March. So this is what the story is about. Okay.